What's going on, guys? It's your boy BB27 here, and welcome to Jeffy's 20th birthday, the review. So guys, I know a lot of people are expecting the iceberg to be the next video. It's gonna be coming out tomorrow. I was actually in, the process of working on it this past night. It's gonna be a huge video, but today Logan has come out with Jeffy's 20th birthday, which I just have to review. Like, I was gonna react to this video originally, but I decided not to just because I want to kind of soak it all in and experience it for myself. That's why this year I'm deciding to do a review, and I can't push this off. This video is genuinely insane. It's one of the craziest SML videos in terms of lore and just all of the stuff that happened near the ending and the middle, and there's just so much. There's so much to cover, and this is gonna be a pretty long review, so we're just gonna jump into it. We're gonna recap the plot, and I'm gonna kind of go into how I felt throughout it, but yeah. So essentially the video starts off with actually a recap. So most of the episode this time around is flashbacks basically to the past. And it starts off kind of showing how, Jeffy's parents met each other and what ended up happening to have Jeffy be birthed, which essentially, it's really dark. It's really dark. This whole video is just dark as fuck. It's like the darkest SML video I think I've ever watched. I mean, Logan used to do some pretty dark stuff back in the earlier days of his channel, but this shit is pretty dark. So even from the beginning, what happens is Nancy, so she's not back in the video, like current timeline, but this is of course back then. She meets up with Jeffy's dad, and essentially he's asking her for directions. They don't really know each other, he just wants help, and she ends up drugging him and raping him. And this is not the only time something like that is shown, and it's really fucked up. So after this, he ends up waking up hours later, rushes out of the house, leaves her, and she steals some of his money. And then they cut to a year later where she's birthing Jeffy at the hospital, and then it's already shown that she's extremely abusive towards Jeffy and thinks that he's gonna make her millions when he's 18. And, because of his dad being, like, a rich painter, which we've known about this forever. I mean, this isn't, like, new stuff, necessarily, but them showing the whole process of how Jeffy came to be is all new, and it's really dark. And even just after that, I'm, like, sitting here thinking, like, holy shit, like, that's a fucked up way for, Jeffy to be conceived. Because it always kind of was weird how, Jeffy's dad was a rich, famous painter, and his mom is just a crack addict whore who's just living in, like, a shitty trailer and abusing her kids. Like, it never made any sense of why they got together, but this whole beginning puts that together beautifully. And it's a really good intro to the episode. It's dark, but it kind of, prepares you a little bit for what's coming up. So then after that, I think it cut to, Jeffy, kind of current day with his 20th birthday. And actually, let me confirm. Okay, anyways, sorry about that. This video is insane. It's a lot to process, so I'm just trying to make sure I get everything right in this review. If I don't, then, you guys can correct me. But essentially, after that, it goes to them kind of celebrating his birthday in current time. Jeffy's, talking. He's just kind of doing the usual Jeffy stuff. And then Rose shows him a present that she gave him, which was a little giraffe toy. And this sends Jeffy into, like, a mental breakdown because it starts reminding him of his past with his mom and how she gave him that toy. So he starts freaking the fuck out. Then it goes to kind of like how Phoebe came to be. Okay, which essentially Phoebe happened in a similar way to how Jeffy got conceived. With this time though, it was the landlord basically wanted rent. She couldn't pay for it, obviously, right? She spends, she doesn't have any money, and so she ends up, doing something with the landlord, and then that's how Phoebe gets conceived. It's really fucked up. There's like some jokes in the video too. Like, it's not like, a very funny SML video. Like, there is a couple jokes here and there, but it's a really serious and like dark SML episode, which I know a lot of people are used to. I'm obviously not used to it because Logan just doesn't do this type of stuff anymore, and that's why I love this video so much. It's so dark, it's so crazy, it's so lore heavy, all of that. But yeah, anyways, after that, it kind of goes back. Jeffy's freaking out. They have to call a doctor over to try to calm him down. And they're trying to figure out, why this happened to Jeffy. Why is he freaking the fuck out about this shit? And essentially explains it to them. It shows more flashbacks of, like, the mom abusing him. And she locks Jeffy and Phoebe into, like, a cage. And I mean, there's just so much going on, guys. There's so much going on. At one part, you know, Brooklyn guy, oh yeah, when Brooklyn guy initially comes over, he starts making it about his birthday. He's like, oh, well, you forgot my birthday, which I knew that joke was coming. It's not that bad this time around. I mean, they didn't make the whole video about it. It's just like a little one-off joke about him being mad at Maria or Marvin. And, you know, I kind of like that. That was kind of funny. But then, it goes back to some more flashbacks of Jeffy and Phoebe and kind of their childhood, and they're just getting abused. And then this dude named CJ comes over, and this is like when the video gets so dark. I never thought Logan would ever go in this direction, but he did. It's fucked. I don't even know if I want to explain it, but basically what happens is he wants... you know, he kind of comes over there being like, oh, you want drugs, to Nancy, right? And Nancy's like, oh, well, yeah, I do. And then, you know, CJ doesn't want to do anything with Nancy to give her the drugs. He wants to do stuff with Phoebe in order to get the drugs. So he's like he's a pedophile, which later in the video gets revealed that he was David Winkle's brother, which kind of all connects it, and it's fucking crazy. So... this happens, you know, Jeffy's trying to fight him off, and it just doesn't happen, and it's like, oh, God, it's so bad, man. But yeah, it's so bad. So then there's like a joke flashback that Jeffy's telling a story where it's like how he came to hate green beans, and I kind of took it, I thought it was serious at first, but I guess he was like making it up, and he's like, oh, my mom couldn't afford that shit, which I found that kind of funny, because it was supposed to be like the origin of why he hates green beans, but then it's like Marvin's like, oh, come on, you're just saying that now because you don't like green beans. And basically, later on, it goes to another flashback. This is like one of the, like, coming up kind of near the ending, where it shows that CJ came over, but this time Jeffy actually fought him off. And this is around the time when we get to find out that he was David Winkle's brother, because basically Nancy comes back, calls the cops, and is like yelling at Jeffy, and then, you know, and then that's when we find out that CJ was related with David Winkle. Essentially, that happens, and then they go to interview Phoebe, essentially, and that was really fucked up. And it's just this whole video, man, it's so fucking dark, and there's so many things going, you know, it kind of cuts back to current time, back then, current time, back then, a little bit hard to review, it's a lot going on at once. There's this one part too where they break the TV, and she's freaking out and abusing them. And basically, this all leads up to the flashback where it shows how Phoebe died, right? Because Brooklyn guy is curious, and he's wondering, like, oh, how did, you know, he didn't know Jeffy had a sister, and he's like, oh, well, how did she die? And then it goes to the old video that showed her dying, which was Jeffy's sister returns, like, years and years ago. So after this, he basically, Brooklyn guy tries to help Jeffy, and he tells him, you know, one way he could deal with his trauma from all of this happening to him and his sister is he could, like, draw a picture, basically, of him tying the CJ dude to a truck and, like, killing him, right? And that would make him feel better. And Jeffy takes this idea and actually makes it happen, which this is the most satisfying part of the whole episode. He ties the fucking CJ dude to a Jeffy truck, like a giant Jeffy truck, and just drives right through the old house that he grew up in and got abused and all that, and they destroy the old, like, trailer home, essentially, and that was such an awesome scene, because, like, instead of blowing something up, they, like, destroy this whole house that Jeffy was, like, abused in, all this horrible stuff happened, and, you know, he kills CJ, and it's such a good, satisfying conclusion to all of this, because you get all these fucked up flashbacks and stories of, you know, Jeffy's abuse and Phoebe's abuse and all these horrible things happening, and, like, Nancy just being a terrible person and mom, and then he destroys the whole house, kills CJ, like, it's such a good ending. Brooklyn guy starts munching on the cake, too. There's a lot of little random gags, you know, going on in the current time, which, you know, it's nice, it's a little lighthearted stuff, and it kind of ends with Brooklyn guy, you know, still eating the cake, and, yeah, I don't know, it's just such a good video. It's such a good video. Like, okay, I don't know, my expectations for it, you know, I feel like they were blown completely out of the water. Like, I was expecting this video to be, you know, either some basic dumb Jeffy birthday video, like Jeffy's 17th birthday, where it wasn't as serious, there wasn't going to be, like, a big explosion or lore. I kind of thought they would bring Nancy back. If you guys watched my predictions video, I did say he was going to bring back Nancy. He didn't do that, though. Like, he didn't bring her back in current time, but he obviously, you know, he showed a lot of lore of Jeffy, right? I also said he might bring back Phoebe, which he still didn't do, but he did show her technically in the old flashbacks and brought her back that kind of way, right? But none of them got brought back currently, which I think is very nice. I'm glad Logan isn't just trying to recon, you know, these dead characters who should, you know, or have been staying dead for years. And Like, I'm glad he doesn't just trying to force them to come back. Like, no, it was all just flashbacks, and I think that's a very smart way of bringing them back in a way, you know, kind of telling us more about Jeffy's life and his history, rather than trying to shove Nancy back into it like 500 times. There's also, like, no stupid does bad things guy return, which I don't know why so many people want that. I don't think that character was very good. The whole secret door video I don't like, and I'll make a video talking about that someday, but... yeah, like, I'm glad there was nothing dumb, you know, it was just genuine lore history. It was really dark, and the storytelling was very good in this. I think the pacing of it was good, too. I kind of like how they cut back to, you know, the current time with Jeffy's 20th birthday, and then back then. Nothing happens in this video, I guess, besides Jeffy killing CJ. Like, nothing that moves the lore. Like, Jeffy doesn't move out or, like, anything drastic. Essentially, he just destroys his old home and kills, like, the pedo, right? And, like, that's, like, a good ending. But, I was, you know, hoping, like, oh, like, Jeffy moves out, you know, but... I don't know, like, what we had this year was very good. I think this video is a lot better than Jeffy's 18th birthday and 19th birthday combined. It doesn't feel watered down, it doesn't feel rushed, it doesn't feel like there's just a big explosion for no reason. Like, everything that happened in this video was just, you know, well done, and it's one of the best SML videos we've gotten in years. And I know maybe I'm overrating it a little bit, but it's genuinely awesome. Like, the new locations and all the dark history and, like, just everything. You know, everything was good. Even Brooklyn guy yapping, like, it wasn't too bad in this video, and it kind of makes sense because it is his birthday as well, so obviously he's not taking anything too seriously until Jeffy starts opening up about his life, and that's when he kind of gets sad. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just incredible video. I couldn't even believe what I was watching, really. Like, I was shocking to me. Everything was shocking in this episode, but really just the whole video was so unexpected. I never thought Logan would go this deep with it. I wish he did this more often with his other characters. I wish he did more stuff like this with Junior, Joseph, and Cody. Talked about his parents, and they kind of did in the past, I guess, but, like, I do wish he got deeper in the lore with them, because usually Jeffy's the only one that gets this sort of treatment, but, you know, for what it is, it's amazing, and to me, it's a 10 out of 10 SML video. It's pretty much everything I'm asking for in an SML video, and good story writing, jokes, pacing, you know, not really much filler, very, you know, new locations and variety in scenes is extremely good in this episode, and, yeah, just honestly perfect. That's all I can say. Crazy, dark, messed up, but, oh, thank you, Super Mario Nick. Anyways, yeah, just everything. But overall, very good video. Let me know what you guys thought about it, and yeah, peace out, stay lit. Iceberg is coming next, guys. BB Iceberg is coming next. I'm sorry for delaying it like a million times. It's coming out for real. Alright, peace out.